One thing I've been seeing discussed lately is whether or not freelance work is dying. When I say freelance work, I typically mean the type of work you would do on UpWork or Fiverr or different types of freelance websites. AI can now design logos, it can write blog posts, it can build websites in minutes. So it makes you wonder if sites like Fiverr and Upwork are still good places to find work that you can do on the side. So I'm going to dive into how freelance work may be dying, but some of it may be salvageable. So this is for people that are wondering if they picked like the wrong career by doing freelancing or by going all in on freelancing, people that are thinking about freelancing because of mass layoffs, investors watching Fiverr and Upwork stocks, and anyone who's concerned about what AI might be doing to the gig economy. So there are a few different reasons why people think freelancing is dying. One reason is if you look at the stocks for some of these freelance companies, the biggest ones usually are known as Fiverr and Upwork. If you look at the stock, a lot of times that tells you a story of how the public views this company or how investors view this company. Fiverr is actually more than 90% down from its all-time high. Upwork is probably not much further behind if you look at Upwork's graph here as well. Over the past 5 years, Fiverr is down 96%. Over the past 5 years, Upwork is down 75%. Now, AI started getting more mainstream probably around 3 years ago, but in the past year, Upwork is down 18.61%. Fiverr is down 62.64%. Now, if you look at their earnings, it hasn't all been bad news for Fiverr and Upwork. But I think a lot of people are concerned, people that aren't necessarily doing their research just based on the thought of what AI can do and what is normally considered top freelance work on these websites. Now, out of curiosity, I was wondering what are the most common gigs that you would find on freelance sites like Fiverr? If you look at graphic design, which is basically logos, social media, brand kits, etc., web development, so you're talking e-commerce, Shopify, WordPress sites, video and animation, digital marketing, writing and translation, and other AI services. And then you have a few high demand specialized niches as well, like video transcription, audio, voiceover, book publishing. If you look at these, graphic and design can be done by AI, but it's not always just type something in and get a perfect graphic. However, if you're not extremely skilled, there's a good chance AI can do that now. Website development, if you use a tool like Anti-Gravity, a lot of times you're gonna have a hard time beating something like that can code an entire plugin or an entire website in minutes. You can also check out Stitch as well. Video and animation, now videos can be generated, but they're really best used for like movie trailers and things like that right now, or entertainment videos or like goofy TikTok style videos. If you want to generate a video for a company or for a tutorial or something like that, in my opinion, it's just not really there yet. Plus, if you are cloning someone or creating an AI avatar, you can tell how soulless it is. Digital marketing, another thing like copywriting, creating images, strategy, it can help with a lot of it, but it can't fully replace it if you have years of experience. Writing, that is something that AI has gotten pretty good at. If you can actually give great examples and you can give good source material and not just have it generate an article without giving it your own material, it can do pretty well as copywriting and even resume writing. You may have to tweak writing to make it sound more human and to give it more voice, but article writing, blog post, copywriting, resume writing, I would say that's one of the things that AI can do best right now. And of course, we have all sorts of AI services which are in demand. Audio and voiceover has come a long way. I've heard audiobook production really increased recently, as far as you can have audiobooks now that have different voices for different characters and they sound almost exactly like a professional narrator. Video transcription is not too hard for AI to do. You can create subtitles and transcriptions even in video editing software sometimes, but you can automatically create that very easily now. I think transcription is on its way out the door as far as humans doing it themselves. And then book publishing, it just depends on which part of that you're doing. But you also have to consider pricing. So if you look at these different gigs, they can be under $15, $15 to $40, $40 to $65, above $65. A pro version of ChatGPT or Gemini costs you like $20 a month. So imagine how much more you can get out of it for 20 bucks a month versus a lot of these gigs that may not be from true professionals. So even just the thought of AI, if somebody's willing to put in the work and they actually have the free time to learn AI, that's a big part of it. A lot of those types of people, the DIY people out there, the solopreneurs out there, they're the ones that are probably going to start using Fiverr and UpWork much less, especially if they don't have a big budget to spend on someone who has 10 years of experience. So this could lead to less work and falling rates for freelancers. Now, I want to look at a few things that might actually be somewhat good news to you if you're interested in freelancing or if you're already a freelancer. If you look at what people are looking for on Google and just search in general, Google Trends can tell you a lot about what's fading, what's a fad, what's going to last, etc. If you look at interest over time in Upwork, the interest has still mostly been going up over time. It looks like it had a nice spike here around the summer of 2025 for whatever reason. And it may be trending downward other than that spike for the most part, but it's not like free falling or anything yet. And if you look at the same type of thing with Fiverr, they looked like they kind of peaked around, looks like 2021, which is around the pandemic where a lot of people were getting things done. They couldn't leave their house. So now it's been kind of trending downward from there. Again, we had another spike for whatever reason around the same time, June and July 2025. But it has been trending downward, although it hasn't hit like a catastrophe yet. So in other words, there is still quite a bit of interest in freelance stuff and the major websites, but it may have kind of a slow decline right now. But if somebody's saying, well, it's completely dead, it's not completely dead yet. It's just that if you're someone who's kind of the type of person who does the $5 and $10 tasks that are usually like general types of tasks, they are the ones that are probably going to be cut out pretty soon because of AI agents and the rise of all these new AI tools from companies like OpenAI and Google. So from a worker standpoint, they are not becoming obsolete, but you are going to have to specialize more and you're going to have to use your years of experience more. It's kind of like the job market right now. I think it's a great comparison to how to look at freelancing on sites like Upwork and Fiverr. Which jobs are the toughest right now to get? Entry-level jobs are really hard to get right now. College graduates can't hardly get their first job out of college, and it's been a real problem. Well, people who don't have a lot of experience that are selling freelance gigs on Fiverr and Upwork are probably the ones that are getting hit hardest right now. They're selling by the task, whereas the most experienced people are selling by the result. So to survive this, there are going to be people that are still getting hired because they can actually show you how they improve your ROI, or they can show you how to customize templates specifically for your brand, or they can tailor things to your specific scenario that AI just simply can't do yet because AI just gives you more broad results or generic results. So if I was someone who is looking at doing a freelance site like these, I would want to do the specific tasks that you've been paid to do at jobs. You know you're good at those things. You've been paid thousands of dollars a year to do those things. If you get hired at a professional level to do a task full time, those are the types of tasks that you can still get paid to do on freelance sites. But if you're doing something generic, most people are probably going to start outsourcing that to AI if they haven't already. Now, this is not my investment channel. I have a link to that in the YouTube description if you want me to go more in depth about investing. But obviously not financial advice, but for me, looking at, say, freelance sites from an investment standpoint and not just from a freelancer standpoint, I think there's a lot of concern going forward that these companies may never get back to their all-time high, and they may just slowly decline over time, just like their search interest has.